Welcome to this episode of FaceMint. Today, we will talk about something that feels quiet, subtle, but deeply real. Why do people who once shined so brightly, the gifted, the promising, the ones with all that potential, now often feel invisible, directionless, and emotionally numb? They were told they were different. They believed it. So, what happened? This isn't a story about failure. It's a story about identity. It's about what happens when the version of you the world applauded becomes the version you're afraid to let go of. You see, when you're young and gifted, the world responds. You're not just seen, you're admired. People light up when you walk into a room. They say things like, "You're going to change the world," and part of you starts to believe it. But here's the thing. Praise can be a mirror, or it can be a mask. And when it becomes a mask, you stop growing into yourself and start performing the version of you that others expect. You learn that your value comes from being impressive, from being ahead. So, you start avoiding the things that make you feel average. You only pursue the things you're naturally good at. And slowly, your world starts to shrink. Not out of laziness, but out of fear. Because what happens if you try something new and you're not great at it? What if you're just okay? For most people, that's life. But for you, the gifted one, it feels like a threat. And deep down, that's when the question starts creeping in. If I'm not extraordinary, then what am I? And that's when the loneliness begins. It's not that you can't talk to people. It's that you don't feel seen by them anymore. You don't want shallow conversations, but you also don't know how to let your guard down. You're thinking in layers, always analyzing, always observing, while others are just being. And it feels like you're trapped behind a glass wall, looking out, longing in. So you retreat into your mind. You think more. You reflect more. You understand people better than they understand themselves. But still, you're alone. Because understanding isn't the same as connecting. What you've built is a kind of emotional intelligence that stays distant. You can read the room, you can play the part, but you don't feel present. You feel like an actor in a play that used to be your life. And what's worse, you don't even know how to explain this, because everything looks fine. You're still clever, still articulate, still capable, but it all feels hollow. You're not falling apart. You're fading. And when that realization hits, many gifted people take one of two paths. Some double down. They become perfectionists, chasing the next achievement, the next validation. Others check out completely, afraid to try, afraid to fail, afraid to care. Neither path heals the wound, because the wound isn't about performance. It's about identity. You spent your life being the person others believed in. But who were you becoming underneath all of that? Because you can't build a meaningful life around being impressive. You can only build it around being real. So, what's the way out? It's not about giving up your gifts. It's about giving up the need to prove them. It means asking, not how do I win, but what am I curious about? Not will people be impressed, but will I feel alive doing this? It's about letting yourself be a beginner again, letting yourself suck at things, letting yourself laugh, play, and risk looking foolish. Because growth doesn't come from staying exceptional. It comes from becoming whole. And wholeness includes your doubts, your fears, your awkwardness, your silence. You don't need to be the best in the room. You need to be in the room, not as a performer, but as a person who is curious, who is trying, who is healing. So if you're feeling lost, detached, or like you're not truly living your life, here's your permission. Let go of the script. Let go of the mask. Let go of the pressure to always know what you're doing. Start asking yourself, what do I care about, even if I'm bad at it? Where do I feel safe being messy? Who makes me feel seen, even when I don't have anything clever to say? That's where your new life begins. Not with brilliance, but with presence. Not with certainty, but with curiosity. Not with control, but with compassion for yourself. You were the gifted one, and you still are. But your gift was never just your intelligence. It was your depth, your wonder, your capacity to feel, to care, to imagine. That's what the world needs now. Not your mask, but you. Thanks for watching FaceMint. If this spoke to something in you, take a moment to sit with it, and when you're ready, not perfect, not prepared, just ready, take one honest step forward. I'll see you in the next one. You.